Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I'm joined by my crafty besties. I've got Betsy with me. And
Hi,
go ahead.
Hi, I'm Betsy coming to you from the Gulf Coast.
And I've got Gaz with me.
Hi, I'm Gaz coming to you from the south coast of the UK.
And I'm so happy to have both of my good friends with me. So I've got my two crafty buddies with me, and we decided to do a card challenge. And I think we might make this a monthly thing. We'll see how it goes. But we picked a die, and this is the die, and I don't have the packaging, so Betsy's going to show you the packaging.
This is the Crafter's Companion Deep Border Stylish Swirls.
And we all have that die, so we decided to use that die and each make a card and see, but not tell each other exactly what we were going to do. And so we haven't seen each other's cards yet, and so we're each going to reveal our card, and then at the end of this video you'll be able to see how each of us have made that card. So I'll start, and here's mine. And I used the deep border dies to create kind of an elevated frame, and then I used some Simon Hurley tulip dies to accent the front of the card. Betsy?
Oh, that's adorable.
Thank you.
Well, I made a birthday card. I used a Stampin' Up! Happy Birthday die and stamp set, and I colored it with the matching markers. And then I've got my little happy birthday sentiment, and I use vellum paper right here. The white part is vellum paper.
Nice, that's gorgeous.
And I also made a birthday card using a lovely sentiment that I had in my stash. I probably should have drop shadowed that a little bit. But yeah, I think mine looks really cute.
Awesome.
I love that, guys. I love all the colors. So
yes.
This gives you a really good idea of how you can use the same die to make very different looking cards. Each of these are very unique. So we had a lot of fun with that. Did you guys have fun making that challenge?
I sure did.
I did.
So are we going to... Oh, go ahead.
I was more nervous making the video because I've never made a video before. I said, I can't mess up.
Oh, you can always edit out the boo-boos, or you can re-record it. That's an easy one.
It is. The most exciting part for me was that we're not going to see each other's cards until this.
That was
and I
pretty
was
exciting.
kind of like, I wonder what they've come up with. I hope mine's completely different from theirs because it isn't books.
Yeah, because we had no idea what each other were doing. We really didn't. So it was a lot of fun. All right.
Lori, you came up with this idea because you and I happened to use the same die to make a card one day, and this die, and you posted it, and I said, oh my gosh, I just made a card just not like that, but using that same die. And that's what gave you the idea. Let's do a card challenge with a die that we all have.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. And so I loved doing this. It was a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys loved it enough that we can make it kind of a monthly thing, I think.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, for sure.
All right. So for all of you tuned in, stay tuned and you'll be able to see a quick snippet on how each of the three of us made our specific card. Thanks for watching.
Hi, this is Betsy coming to you from the Gulf Coast, and here's the card I made for our card challenge. And here are the supplies that I used. First, I used the Crafter's Companion Deep Border Create-A-Card Stylish Swirls. It's a great die. I used the Stampin' Up! Happy Birthday to You Stampin' Die set. I used Stampin' Blends, the Summer Splash, the Granny Apple Green, the Daffodil Delight, the Melon Membo, and the Soft Suede. I also used some vellum paper. I used the Stampin' Up! Unbound Beauty 12 by 12 paper pad that's got a lot of gorgeous papers in there. I used pop dots for the cake and the sentiment. I used some resin dots to decorate. So let me show you how I made it. I started out using Crafter's Companion white multi-purpose cardstock to cut the base at 10 by 7, and I scored it in half on the 10-inch side. I cut the first layer using this paper. I cut the second layer using this paper, and I cut the layer with swirls using my white vellum. So for the cake, I use the Crafter's Companion multi-purpose cardstock. I stamped and I heat embossed it. I use my Stampin' Up! Blends to match my papers to color the cake. I cut the Happy Birthday die out and shadow using the same papers. I use pop dots and I use resin to finish it off. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply the 2 layers. I like my Color glue because it gives me time, wiggle room. Just going to put it right in the center. And if any comes out, it's okay because it will dry clear. I'm going to take my vellum, and vellum's kind of tricky to put on, but for this one, I'm just going to use some glue dots. You should not see it when it's attached to it. But since I'm putting some resin down there, I'm going to make sure and I put some dots down on each of the little swirls so they don't pop up. But for the most part, a lot of this is going to be covered up with the cake. So I think that's pretty good. All right, now let's attach this to this layer. I like glue because it gives you wiggle room if you're not perfect. And I am not perfect. All right, so now we have the layer down. Nothing is squeezed out. So now I've got my pop dots, my cake sitting on my cake. Let's take the backing off. I'll probably use more pop dots than I need, but you know, that's me. I like to stick them up. Now I'm probably going to do the sentiment first because I want to make sure I get the sentiment and the die in pretty good order. Okay, and I like to put some glue on each of the dots, the pop dots, just because you never know how old the pop dots are, and this way they will definitely stay down. So I'm going to put my Happy Birthday right here. And we're going to put our cake. We put the dots on. I'm going to put the cake right here. Hopefully it's straight. I'm going to use my resin dots. Put one there. I put one here on the corner. Whoops. That one didn't want to stick, so let's get some glue. Just have to improvise. I'm going to take the small ones and I'm going to put some around the swirls. So there you go. I hope you like my card. Thanks for watching.
Hello everybody, it's great to be here again today. It's me, Handcrafted by Gaz. I'm going to be doing this awesome video with Laurie and Betsy from Coast to Coast Craft Girls, so I'm glad to be a part of this. We decided to use one die that all 3 of us had, so we're using a deep border die, which is Stylish Swirls from Crafter's Companion, however they brand as Gemini. So what I've done is I've gotten a card blank of 5x7, as that fits the frame quite nicely, and I have cut out the back of the die on its own, and I've cut out the front of the die, front frame of the die on its own. I've also cut a piece of card that I've stuck down to my desk here at 4¼ by 6¼ which this then sits perfectly on top of as a layer. So the reason why I've done that is because I'm going to be ink blending on this. So I've put 1/4 inch around in the tape to hold it down to the desk so that I can do my ink blending. And we're going to make a really nice greetings card. So I'm just going to make a card and you can stick whatever sentiment you want on it. I may even put a sentiment on it myself. We'll see what happens when we get there. But I'm just really looking forward to having fun ink blending and making this card. So I'm going to come in to start with on my picked raspberry, and I'm kind of going to go from the centre and come out with the colours in a circular motion. So hopefully when this is done it will look really, really cool. So that is all the ink blending complete, and you can see there the ink pads that I've used, which are the Picked Raspberry, Lumberjack Plaid, Mermaid Lagoon and Squeezed Lemonade. Now when we put that over that, look how cool that looks. Unfortunately I can't get a zoom in on it, but once I've stuck it down, and I've also saved myself of having to put an extra white matte layer on because of putting that tape down. I really needed to just be a little bit more careful with peeling it, but once you see, you can see there that I've got that perfect square, and even though it's not 100% straight, it still covers the entire pattern that I've done there. And if I just bring that up to the camera, you can see how well the colours look together. I think it looks gorgeous. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in with one of my tape runners. I've got a dotty tape runner. I feel that's the best kind of one to be using for such an intricate die. And we're going to stick that down. And look how absolutely gorgeous that panel's come out. I really, really love that. So now all I'm going to do is just use my Collal all-purpose glue to attach this to the back of the larger die that I've cut there. And there we go. Just line that up, and this is what I like about having the Collal glue there as well, is that it gives you that little bit of extra wiggle time to get it all nice and set down. Now I've gone into my stash and I found a lovely birthday sentiment, so I've cut it out in some Miri cards. So we've got birthday just there, and this little stamp says happy, and I've cut a little piece of card here to 3/4 of an inch by 1.5 so that I can stamp that out. We'll stick that on there, pop that onto the card, and then it's all done. So what I'm actually going to do for this sentiment is I'm going to use my glue press. Now normally I would just go ahead and use my dotty tape roller again, but I'm just thinking that this is a little bit too intricate for that. So there we go. I'm just going to line that birthday up on there. I really like how that's come out. And just because we have that birthday sank down there, I'm going to put the happy just down here. And there we go. And I'm just going to pop that down there in a nice corner. And what I'm going to do around the edge of this is go around the very fine detailed edge there with my dotty tape runner so that it gets a nice good stick. And in the centre I'm going to use that awesome Collal all-purpose glue. Just put a nice layer over it. Make sure that I orient it the correct way round. Line it up with the card and stick it down, and there we go, guys. There is the final product, a lovely happy birthday card using the deep border dies with some really nice ink blending there. Thank you very much for watching my part of the video, and I hope to see you all on my channel, and hope to see you with the Coast to Coast Craft Girls really soon. Bye for now, guys.
So it's a 5x7 card. So I just took a white 5x7 card base. And then I cut this die with the frame, the center, all 3 dies. So the outer frame, the inner frame, and the inner panel in both white Centura pearl with touch of silver and in a silver matte mirror card. And so I got this piece and this piece. And then I glued them together with a drop shadow. So you've got the white Centura pearl on top and then the matte silver underneath to give you just that little bit of a drop shadow on this and on this. Then I took a piece of just the white and the silver matte mirror and I cut it at about 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 so that it would fit underneath there. But I wanted it big enough that I'd have enough room for some foam tape to mount on there, but not so big that it showed underneath these circles. So I basically measured from, inside the edges, because I didn't want the foam tape or the underneath layer to show underneath those circles. So you get 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. And so I cut one in Centura pearl, one in the matte silver. And then I took my paper trimmer and I cut a 1/2 inch border of each of them. And then I created another border with and then I did the drop shadow again with that. And so we're going to glue all these together first. So I'm going to start with my back layer, and I've got some thicker foam tape. This is 1/2 inch, and then it's the thicker foam tape versus on the next layer I put a thinner layer of foam tape. And I meant thick this way, not only this way, but also this way. And then just make sure that you get your drop shadow in the same direction. So see, I've got the silver mirror kind of on the bottom part, so I put it on this bottom part. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put this one on there. And I built these layers up before I put it on the card base because it's harder to get exactly in the center when you don't have all the layers on it. Once you have all the layers on it, then it's really easy to get it in the center because the outer frame is just under 5x7. So it basically takes up the whole top. But if you don't have the outer frame on, then it's actually a little bit difficult, or it is for me, to get it in the center. So again, make sure you get the drop shadow on the right side, and see, this is where my wet glue is nice because I can kind of wiggle that around and make sure I got it in the right spot before I commit. And then I've got some glue up there, but I can just wipe that off. Okay, now I'm going to take my card base and I'm just going to glue that flat onto the card base. And that gives you your frame. And now I'm just going to add my tulips in. Now, as I said, these tulips are from Simon Hurley. And then I cut them in yellow and then just used my orange ink pad to put a little bit of orange shading around each of the edges of the petals. And that helps define one petal from the other. And then just kind of decide how you want them to fit in your frame. And then I've just got a happy birthday sentiment, and again, I'm just going to use some 3D glue gel on that. And we're just going to use that to kind of cover up the base of those stems. And that's all there is to it. It goes together pretty quick, other than making the flowers, which does take a little bit of time. And the die cutting takes a bit of time, but not too bad. And so there's my card.